All right. Well, happy Monday, everyone, and welcome because we are honored that you are here watching the Women on Purpose Summit. It's time to shine. Your light is needed. We have 10 incredible speakers that you will learn from, and here are a few things they will be sharing. Let your inner warrior out, taking declaration, taking a stand, and taking action. How to navigate through your life with confidence and self-empowerment. And I have the pleasure of introducing our speaker for today, and her name is Angelie Kapoor. She is an award-winning career business and leadership expert, author, writer, and speaker that specializes in helping ambitious souls, mostly women, in healthcare, embrace career, leadership, and business success strategies. Over the years, she's developed the skills and expertise and a keen understanding of the complex issues that her clients face, especially in volatile times and economies like we are experiencing today. With a background in management and leadership, her career spans over several years in the healthcare industry and business ownership. Angelie worked her way up from an entry-level position to upper management. She is passionate about helping her clients learn the business, leadership, and career strategies they need to succeed, no matter the state of the marketplace. We are here to be partakers in whatever Angelie has to share with us, and I'm sure it's going to ignite that light within us. And just sit back, take notes, and listen to whatever it is that she has forthcoming. Angelie, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Karen, for that wonderful introduction. And thank you, both of you, for allowing me to be part of this. I'm super excited to be here. So thank you so much for the opportunity. So I have prepared a presentation for all you beautiful ladies out there. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so I was very much inspired by the theme of this summit, which is Women on Purpose, Releasing Your Inner Goddess. The title immediately began to have me think about the experience that I have and have had in speaking with different types of women out there. I've spoken with women who are looking to advance and transition in their careers. Also women who are looking to become more empowering leaders. And of course, women who are entering and taking that courageous jump into business ownership and being on an entrepreneurial journey. And so one of the common things that I've noticed in all of my conversations and speaking with all of these women in different areas of their journeys is that these women are, they don't realize the actual strength, the brilliance, and the potential that they have that I see when I talk to them. And looking back at my own journey, just a couple of years ago, this was the same with me. So I know that it's something that's pretty common out there, especially for us women. Now, life happens to every one of us. There's circumstances and experiences that we go through, and these things can rob us of our power. They've dimmed our bright lights by negatively impacting our self-confidence, our self-esteem, and our self-worth. We've been manipulated by the world, as well as our inner critic and our limiting beliefs that make us think and also play small. Well, I'm here to tell you today, ladies, that no more of that. It's time to break free from those manipulations. It's time to shine your light as brightly as possible. And so that's what I want to talk about today. So how do we do that? Well, today I want to focus on one aspect of the manipulation that's out there affecting us, and it's our stories. Now, we all love stories. We all have them. We love when we can resonate and connect with the story. But think about this. Can our stories that we tell ourselves be limiting us, be hindering us? So what a story does is it reinforces a belief. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but our beliefs actually impact us in a biological way. So let me show you. So, a cellular biologist by the name of Bruce Lipton stated in one of his books, the biology of belief is about how beliefs actually impact the expression of our genes. If we really want to make a change, what we need to do is to look at how stories are influencing our minds as well as our bodies. Similarly, a novelist by the name of Salman Rushdie also stated that those who do not have the power over the story that dominates their life, the power to retell it, rethink it, deconstruct it, joke about it, and change it as times change, truly are powerless because they cannot think new thoughts. So basically, what they're saying is that a story is about being able to retell and to rethink it. Because often we say to ourselves, I don't have a story, I just have facts, right? But what we're doing is we're looking at our past and at certain aspects of it, and we're reconstructing a story. So, yes, it's true that we have things that we've experienced, but we turn them into stories. And sometimes these stories aren't necessarily accurate. And being able to realize this, we have the opportunity to change them and gain new insights around the stories that we're telling ourselves. So there are a few common stories that I have found we tell ourselves, and they can in fact work again against us and limit us. So the stories that I commonly find that we tell ourselves that are limiting are stories about our identity, who we are. Now, this is a big one for many of us. I've dealt with this personally and have found many women I speak with and work with fall into stories revolving around their careers or what they do. We have a tendency to let our careers define us. And the dangerous thing about these types of stories is that we don't even realize that they're occurring. I had a wake-up call in regards to this when I got laid off from my company a few years ago. I found myself having an identity crisis, as the story I was telling myself was that I was my job role. But ladies, we aren't our job titles or any other titles that we've been given or call ourselves. And we need to start, and when we start to believe these stories, that's who we tell ourselves that we are. But that's not true, ladies. As women, we are complex. We are women. We're moms. We're wives, daughters, sisters. We're also strong, talented, beautiful. So don't get stuck into a story that ties your worth and value to something, because I assure you that it's just not true. The other story that we tell ourselves is why we are the way we are, why we are where we are. Now, this is another story that we seem to develop from past experiences. A great example of this that I found in myself is that I'm an introvert. Can anybody else relate? So, yes. Yeah, so growing up, I always was quiet and reserved. And one of the stories that I started to tell myself from a very young age was that, and I think some of you can resonate with that as well, is that introverts don't have as much fun, or they don't have as many friends, or they aren't as confident. They can't be leaders or run successful companies or have successful businesses. But these are things that are reserved for people who are more outgoing, like extroverts. But ladies, this just isn't true. I and many other proud introverts I know excel at being leaders, being confident, and creating and running successful businesses. In fact, a couple of years ago, I wrote an article that was published in Brains magazine that was titled Debunking the Misconceptions of Introversion. And in the article, I discussed how introverts possess the abilities and the elements of success, such as intelligent decision-making, having a keen eye for attention to detail, being highly strategic, as well as being great at solving problems. So, being outgoing, outspoken, and a social butterfly aren't necessarily true that those are needed in order to be successful. So the other story that we tell ourselves is about our future. We tend to weave these stories and believe certain stories about our future. Now, I see this a lot in working with women who are looking to advance or transition in their careers, and especially in working with women who are business owners and entrepreneurs. When we face resistance, especially in the form of challenges and obstacles, it can reinforce our stories. So those limiting beliefs and that ugly, negative inner critics start working away at our confidence, our self-esteem, and our self-worth. So we can start to think that our vision for our future is just that, an unachievable vision. So what can we do to revamp and retell our stories that may be limiting us? Well, the first step is to be aware. Awareness. This is step one and is a huge step in the right direction to revamping and retelling and coming up with your new stories. So what stories are you telling yourself about who you are, or why are you the way you are or where you are? And what stories are you telling yourself about your future? So you want to create that awareness and realization for yourself. Now, becoming aware of the dialogue that occurs that tries to make you believe and reinforce your old story, your self-talk, your thoughts, your beliefs, what's being said in your head as well as in your psyche. Now, step two is to determine new stories for yourself. So what do you want your stories to be? So think about it and know it. Think about what you want your identity to be, what you want to explain, why you are the way you are or where you are, and what do you want your story about your future to be? And that brings us to step number 3, intercept. So knowing that the incorrect stories that you're telling yourself, as well as the new ones that you want to reinforce, are important in order for you to intercept when your thoughts, your inner critic, and your limiting beliefs try to get you to believe your old story that limits you. Now, I do this really often. I do this all the time. So when I start to think about or start saying to myself something that I want to change and stop reinforcing, I first recognize it. I stop it in its tracks, and then I start to reinforce my new story with mantras or words that really trigger my remembering, okay, this is what I want my story to be. So an example that I have is I'm currently trying to work on eating better and trying to lose the weight I gained during quarantine. I'm sure others can relate. But when I think about, the weight that I've gained or that I'm craving something that I know I shouldn't eat, I realize this dialogue, I stop it in its tracks, and I replace it with concepts and words of what I want my new story to be. Like, I'm beautiful just the way I am. I'm making huge progress towards my weight and eating goals. So something like that. So now I want to leave you with this. So the theme of this summit also brought to mind a poem that's one of my favorite poems by Marianne Williamson. I'm sure many of you have heard of her, author, speaker. She was also a presidential candidate. But it's called Our Deepest Fear. And I actually have it tacked up right here on my wall in front of my desk. So it's a reminder to me every day. But here's what it says. So our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are we not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So here is my message to you, ladies. Shine your lights bright, you beautiful souls, because that is what you are meant to do. That is your purpose, and that's what this world needs. So I hope that you guys have found this helpful. So thanks again for letting me do this.
Absolutely.
I don't even want to cut you off, Anna Marie, but do you see a theme here with
Yes.
these speakers?
Yes. Yes.
Oh
Huge
my
theme.
gosh.
And I think maybe
Self-talk and serving.
Yes,
Oh
I think maybe because it's true, and that's something that we all really need to learn, and something that, I know that when we're working with women as well, one of the biggest things that we talk about is the inner power that we have, that light that's inside of us that just needs to come out and shine. And since we were children, I mean, we could be whoever we wanted to be, right? And I know that I would get the chalkboard out and I would draw on the chalkboard. And if I didn't have a chalkboard, I would get a stick and I would pretend there was a chalkboard. I always wanted to be a teacher, somebody to mentor people. But then as I started getting older and I was told, no, you can't do that, you have to do this, and no, you have to be this, and no, you have to do that, all of my personal dreams start to go away, and that light kind of, dims. And so as we get older, we need to give ourselves permission. Hey, it's okay. It's okay to be powerful. It's okay to be a strong woman. It's okay to let your light shine. Because if I'm shining my light, I mean, that's shining on you too, because you're standing right there with me.
Right. Right.
So one of the things that you had mentioned is that a couple of years ago, you were also not aware of your own strength and brilliance and potential. What happened? What changed?
So yeah, one of the things that I discovered after I got laid off from the company I was working at the time, this happened a few years ago, is I realized that I didn't realize how much being part of the corporate world for so long had negatively affected my confidence, my self-esteem, and my self-worth. And, being laid off for an amount of time also further impacted that. But when I really discovered this, and what I really did was going through a process of rediscovering who I really am as a woman and the value that I have and what I bring to the world, is where I really started to become aware of my strength and my brilliance and my light. And, when I first started delving deeper into the coaching world and also self-care, the realm of self-care, at first I kept hearing, the term bright light or shine your light or radiant light. And at first I didn't know what that meant. But as I progressed into my journey, I started to understand the feeling of shining and wanting to share that feeling and have others also feel the same way too. I mean, it's hard to describe unless you felt it before. And I'm sure you ladies know what I'm talking about. But, just having that feeling and wanting to share that with others and wanting it to go all over the world. So everybody is just shining. It's just a world of positivity and shining. And, that's one of the reasons why I really got into coaching, is because, just wanting people to experience that and just have a world that's just filled with bright, radiant lights.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I love that. And that's how I came up with Supercharge Your Life. As I was going through and, I said to myself, I really want to do something super. I want to be able to do something that empowers other people. And I thought, yes, I am learning how to supercharge my life. Why can't I help others supercharge their lives? Yes. So I love that. I absolutely love that. You had also said, about our identities and, the stories that we tell ourselves. And one of the things that I love to tell my clients, I just, it's my favorite thing because I do it all the time. When something comes up that's negative in your mind, you're too old, you're too young, you're not pretty enough, you're not tall enough, you're not whatever, you're, not enough education, whatever that looks like. I tell them, what you say is this: I interrupt this broadcast with a special message from my soul. I am a child of God. I have the education I need. I'm as tall as I need. I'm as pretty as I need because I am made perfectly.
Yes, absolutely.
And that power inside of me. And I just love that you bring that out, that we can tell ourselves a different story and we can create a new one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
I absolutely love that. So I know that you had, while we were going through this, you had mentioned some of the breakthrough moments. Tell me about what your breakthrough moments were.
Yeah. So, over the past few years, I really had to revamp and recreate the stories that I've been telling myself for the majority of my life about the value that I bring, my experience and my skills. And I really had to review and realize all the things in my life that I have actually accomplished. I think as women, it's very common for us to just kind of keep going, and not really stopping and thinking about, oh, I've accomplished so much. We just kind of keep an eye and focus on the to-do list and the things that aren't done. We're not really in the habit of saying, oh my gosh, I did this, that was so great, or, this and this. So I really had to, stop and be still, which is really hard for me, and just think about those things. And I also had to discover my voice. So, I mentioned that I'm an introvert, and I had to realize the strengths of my introversion, like my ability to listen, to observe, to problem solve, create meaningful and lasting relationships with others. And also realizing that I need to put myself first. That was a huge one for me. And I know it's a huge one for other ladies out there. We're not used to doing that. We haven't been told that that's how things are supposed to be. We've been told the complete opposite, that we're supposed to run ourselves ragged and try and please others. So, just realizing that taking care of myself isn't selfish, that it's actually selfless, because doing so allows me to, be my best for my family, as well as those that I'm working with, and as well as the world. So those are some of the ones that, I've had to rediscover those breakthroughs. So
Absolutely. I love that. Karen, did you have a question?
Yeah, let's see. I had a comment, but I'm just going to stay with the question. You now focus on working with women who are currently or aspiring to be small business owners or entrepreneurs. What are some of the biggest challenges that you see with these women, although they're ambitious in what they're trying to do?
Right. Yeah. So some of the stories that I see from these ladies in particular are actually the same or similar to the same stories of women that I work with in regards to advancing in their careers and developing as leaders. They struggle with putting themselves out there and believing in themselves and what they have to offer to the world in terms of their product or service. So it's very much similar to what other ladies go through on different paths and journeys, just kind of in a different way. And again, we have to work to change these stories, of course, realizing that they're there at first, and then changing them and overcoming the different manipulations that are causing us to, have these stories limit us and hinder us from, achieving our goals and being successful.
And I think that's key. The most important thing is this, like we talked about before, self-talk. What are we, putting into our minds? We have to change that trajectory, because how we, start our day or end our day is going to be how our day is going to be presented to us. So it's so important to have that positive self-talk.
Right, exactly.
So, Angelie, what are some of the ways that do you have steps? Do you have different ways to walk women through the process?
Yeah. So, I follow a program for every woman, but it is pretty much customized to them and personalized to them and their journey. I found that, again, awareness is the first key in overcoming things that you want to overcome. And then, of course, creating goals. And then, realizing your strengths and your weaknesses and having a support system. So I have different steps in my programs, but, definitely working with people on an individual and personalized level to make sure that we are addressing their specific issues as well as their specific problems. But then, just following particular steps that I found that we all need to go through in order to achieve that in a program.
Beautiful. So you have a system.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you tell our viewers an explanation of the giveaways that you may have for them?
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see it because of my background, but I'll try and see. So no, can't do it. So anyhow, there's two gifts that I want to give you, beautiful ladies. So the first is a digital copy of my guide, which is 5 tips to designing your own empowering morning routine. And I think it's great. It kind of goes with the theme of this summit. But let me tell you, ladies, I live and swear by my morning routine. It's been foundational in helping me with my self-care, my focus, my attitude. And that's in turn helped me with my confidence and my resilience, also my decision making, as well as how I respond to things. So in this guide, I've highlighted 5 areas for creating positivity, feeling energized and refreshed all day long, having all day success, being proactive, and as well as utilizing tools to help you be successful. And it also includes a bonus assessment in there to see what areas you should first focus on in designing your empowering morning routine. And then the second gift I have for you ladies is a free introductory call with me. So research actually shows that 70% of people who hire a coach not only achieve their goals, but maintain them as well. So if any of you ladies have resonated or have felt connected with me today and are seeking some help and guidance in your careers, growing as leaders, or in your businesses, then I would love to chat with you to see if we can work together to help you achieve your goals. So that's what I have for you ladies.
Beautiful. Thank
That's
you.
beautiful.
Of
Thank
course.
you. Yeah,
My pleasure.
beautiful. And then before we wrap it up, if you had one thing to share with the viewers, one takeaway.
Mhm. What would it be?
Yes.
So I think that I would share actually one of my favorite quotes. I'm sure that you ladies have heard of it. It's from Eleanor Roosevelt. It's the quote where she says, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Now, I love sharing this with ladies because to me, it illustrates how much power and strength we actually have.
Yes.
Ladies, you're so powerful that you can either permit or deny letting others make you feel a certain way or not. So I say this to you to recognize your power and your strength and use it to live the life that you love.
That's beautiful. I
Beautiful.
love that.
Thank you.
And I'll just give you a little bit about the backstory about Eleanor Roosevelt so that everybody understands where that came from. She was not pretty. She was not the elegant, first wife as you had
Right.
seen previously.
Mhm.
Yes, she spoke her mind. She truly wanted to be part of the world. And it was very difficult for her to do that. And so she wanted to make it very clear to women, do not stop yourself because other people see you or say you are this or that. Rely on that inner belief. So
Yes.
I love that quote. I do love that
A
quote.
beautiful quote. Yes.
Yes, it's beautiful. Yeah, I love the word beautiful, by the way. I just think I don't know, I'm on this beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything is beautiful. Angelie, it's been an honor to have you with us. And I know that we'll be working together again in the future sometime. So I appreciate you being here with us with all my heart.
Oh, thank you so much. I am honored to be here. And thank you again for allowing me to share with these beautiful ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you.